Today I'll be doing an honest review of Artlisty AI to see if Artlisty is worth the price tag. I'm reviewing the $147 premium version of their AI art tool suite, which is the unlimited lifetime purchase. I'll be going over what you get with the $49 version as well. Now I say honest review because I actually had to buy this tool and I wasn't given this tool for free, so safety's off. We'll take a look at some of the pros, the cons, and then you can decide if this tool is for you or just great for someone that has a business. By the way, if you end up liking Artlisty AI and you want to buy it, there's an affiliate link in my description, which it would help me a lot if you use that link to buy Artlisty. And remember, even though this tool isn't free, likes are totally free. So go ahead and click like if you like the video. Normally I get right into it, but my intro as well as this video is going to be a little bit longer because this is quite the investment. So I want to explain why I personally like this tool and why it might be worth the hefty price tag. You can go to the site and check out the tools available right now if you wanted to for the TLDW, Too Long Didn't Watch. But I want to give an honest review of the good, the bad, the amazing, and show you how some of these tools work and how good they work. The only really ugly thing is the upfront price tag, but I'm going to explain later why it's a bargain if you choose to use this to make money. This tool does exactly what it claims to do and more, but it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Some of the quality of the art is a bit subpar when you compare it to AI art generators like Flux, Recraft, or Midjourney, or even DALL-E 3, but I would say that it's on par with the vanilla Stable Diffusion. Even Stable Diffusion 3, with the exception that Stable Diffusion has so many different flavors, it has Loras, it has custom checkpoints, and all that stuff combined makes your art just mwah. Not to mention the LCMs that make your generations pretty much lightning quick, like 1 second generations, but there's a learning curve to all of that, and there's a lot of room for error and to mess things up using ComfyUI. Artlisty AI might not be the best of the best when it comes to AI art, but it is pretty damn good, and more importantly, it's consistent with its quality. You won't get melted faces and upside down spider hands. Now, I don't want to leave you with the impression that Artlisty AI art is bad. It's capable to produce some really nice AI art, but if you look through the community designs at any given moment, it's very lacking when you compare it side by side with Midjourney. The biggest reason for that, aside from Midjourney being the best, is because there's a very different audience here in Artlisty. Most of the people on here are trying to make ads, t-shirts, logos, and kids coloring books, which are not known to be in high detail, which in Midjourney's case, most of the people on there are trying to make amazing AI art. Period. Plus Midjourney and Flux are the best, so what are you gonna do? Also, most of the pictures that you see on Midjourney are highly rated by the community, and Artistly's community board is just some random generations, even the messed up ones. This does Artistly a disservice, as hidden in this trash bin is a lot of gems and perfectly done ads, but you have to dig deep. They should really filter these images to be only the highly rated ones. Also, it's kind of annoying that it has this report design button all over the place here on every single picture, and then it has this kind of default website layout feel, and also if you look at Artistly on your phone, this button is huge and it's easy to accidentally click it. It also just ruins the image overall. They need to make this look like Midjourney's site with only the best of the best, with large thumbnails and well thought out website design. Right now it's a little bit hectic. So Artistly's community designs gives a bad impression at first glance, but if you scroll through the endless low quality images made for kids coloring books, you'll find in the trash sometimes some really nice photos. So they really need a filter on this site. But as someone who's been in AI art since Disco Diffusion, which was before Midjourney, before Stable Diffusion, I would say that this AI art generator is very capable of creating some good AI art. But it's really the tools that wow you and add that amazing value for content creators, editors, and people making gorgeous ads. Without even knowing where to start, you can make something pretty awesome. One thing I'd like to mention as well is that the unlimited lifetime model is changing soon. Now, perhaps I bought into the FOMO, but I really didn't want another subscription, and I wanted an unlimited version, a tool that I can use a year or two from now. And if you end up purchasing Artlisty through my affiliate link, keep in mind that you have a 30-day trial period, so you can get your money back, no risk. Unless you're one of those procrastinators that miss the deadline and don't get a refund. Don't be that person. But I think the more important question to ask yourself is, are you trying to impress the internet with your amazing AI art ability, or are you trying to create some meaningful art or something that would generate you income in a marketing ad with minimal time spent fixing broken nodes on tools like ComfyUI, or manually doing tasks such as creating each page of a coloring book or storybook? With Artlisty, it just works and you can go back to your life and it'll be low stress. Some of these tools like AI assistants and photo editors are game changers, and it's like having a graphic artist at your disposal. And it can colorize, it can fix tears in your photos, damage to the photo, and it could do anything you want, or add anything or remove anything about the photo. It could change the entire photo itself. Now, some people are going to say, why are you using Artlisty? You could just create better AI art for free on my 4090.
Oh wow, is that a mockingbird?
Slow down there, buddy. RTX 4090 costs around $2,000 or more right now if you look on Amazon, which you can probably use GGUF models, but you'll be sitting there all day. So realistically, you're spending at least $1,000 on a video card for a decent performance on your so-called free AI art. And perhaps the biggest win for this tool over the free solutions is that you can actually sell the art you make on Artlisty, but you cannot sell the art that you make with FluxDev or other models, which you make through ComfyUI, with the exception of obtaining a commercial license from Black Forest Labs or paying Black Forest Labs for the premium sub, which is not the free version. So if you think you're going to sell free images, poo-poo on you. Now, Flux now has some caveats, and also Stable Diffusion 3, you could sign a contract, and as long as you're not making $1 million, you can sell your art. But really, where all the magic is in Stable Diffusion is with their custom models and Loras, which totally voids that being able to sell stuff. So you don't know how they trained those checkpoints, or if the creator themselves prohibited you from selling anything made with those models. Also, keep in mind that traditional marketing typically uses simple illustrations, simple models with not too much in the background that might compete with your message or the words in the ad. You want people to focus on the product or the message instead of having them go into visual overload with the insane amount of details that you put in your awesome photo. It is historically the case that ads are minimalistic due to that simple fact. Typically, you have about 1 to 3 seconds to sell your product to somebody who's looking at your ad. The aim is not to wow someone so they can say nice image and then just walk away and not even know what the ad was about, but the goal is to leave a lasting impression while passing the message to the customer or potential customer actually. If you go too much in either direction, either too much words or too much information or too much art, then you kind of lose their interest. Let's take a closer look at the tools, starting with the not so good of Artlisty. The navigation is pretty confusing to me on this site. I hope they put more logic into the flow and fix some of the design here. First of all, their dashboard, what we're looking at right now, is not a dashboard, and it's really just their marketing site to try and sell you their other products. They show their new tools down here, but when you click on it, it just brings you back to the top, which is wild. Like, I'm not sure why this is considered their dashboard. A dashboard should be a one-stop snapshot with all the tools and a home base to fall back to when you're lost, but it's an unnecessary stepping stone to try and force you to browse their other products that they have for sale here. They should really make this more tactful and place it somewhere else, as it looks deceiving. As when companies do this, it's kind of fishy. I don't think that's the case with Artlisty, but man, it's annoying. And when you click on the Artlisty logo here in the top, normally it brings you here. So 90% of the time or 80% of the time, it'll bring you back to this dashboard. And sometimes it doesn't. And they missed the opportunity to create a real dashboard for the user convenience. And also you have to go to 3 or 4 different pages to get where you need to go to actually see the tools you want to use, depending on the tool you're trying to use. Well, I just noticed we're not off to a good start, but I promise I'm not trolling and I'll turn it around. Did I mention I paid for this tool with my own money? But really, that's my main complaint with Artlisty, is some of the names they choose for nomenclature as well as the design choices with the flow. It's just when you do it so many times and you have to keep going to 3 different pages to get to where you need to go over here, usually it just adds up, which is really frustrating because that's something they could fix tomorrow, like literally. Now, when you click on Create Design, you're met with Fast AI Image Designer and Advanced AI Image Designer. This is a bit deceiving as the Advanced AI Image Designer has barely any features. Let's click on it right now. And when I first clicked on it, is this really what Artlisty has to offer? And it was just some basic tools. And there's also this Canva style kind of editing here, which is cool, but I mean, that's not enough to justify the $147 price tag, right? So this whole advanced section is really redundant and useless and has some weird design choices, which I don't get it. But keep in mind, I've only had this tool for about 2 weeks, so maybe in the future I'll get it. But when you get here, you'll see a bunch of templates and you can start creating, which will start a new project. But this is a little annoying too, because they have some cool templates and you can go through them, you know, next by next, keep clicking next to see more templates, but it's a little odd that there's no search button. So at first it made me think that this was all that was available. There's just a couple of templates here, but man, there's actually a lot of templates. So you have to actually start a new project and get in there. And here you'll see a few cool tools, and I'll create another video that goes over each of these in depth. But really, if you go here to templates, this is kind of what the advanced editing is about here. You can actually search the type of ads that you want and the type of templates, which should have been on the first page, but it's not. You can also create thumbnails, and you can click on one like this and it'll throw it into the canvas here. But real quickly, you have the custom consistent character for the $147 version. You have the AI upscaler, AI stylizer, which you can just combine a picture to change the style entirely, instant scenes where you could change the background in one click. You'll be given different options here, or you can manually replace it with a photo that you generate. As you can see, it says replace the background with. You just type in what you want the background to be. Typing something in here to replace the background. Let's try this and click. As you can see, it's the same two characters, but in a different style of restaurant. Next is the text editor, and you could actually click on the text editor and it'll detect all the text on the screen and you could change it. So when you go here, you can actually delete this and do whatever you want. And it'll do the same for this as well, except you're gonna have to regenerate to get something like a sign that's ingrained into the scene. You got object removers, so you can erase something and it'll make it look like it was never there. You have smart expanders, so you can turn a 1x1 into a 16x9 very easily. You can crop the image, you can remove the background in a single click. You could inpaint. You can do face swapping, which is one of my favorite features because you can put someone's face onto a superhero or something like that. And you could also work in layers here, but you don't have the ability to do the same things you can do in Photoshop. But we're not going to go too deep into them because you'll get there in the regular designer as well. Now click on create design again and click on fast AI image generator. And this is where everything is. These are where all the tools that you want to find. These are the tools that you paid for. And this is where Artlisty is amazing. Real quickly, personal designs is what you created. And there's little sub tabs here as well, like script to storybook, kids storybook. Now the last tab here is for community designs. And when you go through here, you might see a bunch of underwhelming art, and this is because Artlisty just kind of shows you everything. So you're going to see a lot of images like this. Sometimes that's all you see, which is not really good for the first impression you get. So you might just see that and kind of get a bad impression, but you can create some pretty good art. Now before we dive a little bit deeper, let's take a look at the difference between the $49 version versus the $147 version, which is what I'm using right now. Keep in mind that both of these are lifetime licenses right now, but it might change. So in the $49 version, you get the normal AI image generator. You get magic merch where you can do ecom markups and combine a shirt with a person and put that shirt on the person. You get an AI style replicator, which is so you can create patterns of stuff. You get an AI background changer. Now the AI style replicator is also in the premium version, which is a little strange because this is supposed to be one of the premium features that are not here. So that seems like a mistake on their site, which won't be the last mistake. Instant scene, which is an AI background changer. You could either describe or give it a new background to change the background entirely. Canva style image editing is kind of the templates that you see in the advanced image editor. Kids and adult coloring book maker. It's pretty amazing. You give it one prompt and it creates an entire coloring book. It's really that easy. AI and logo t-shirt designer, which I'm not too much of a fan of. It's just creating a design within a t-shirt parameters. AI image upscaler, which is a pretty decent upscaler. AI image redesigner. I'm not too familiar with that one. Smart image expander, that's Outtpainting. So if you want to turn a 1x1 into a 16x9, like for like a YouTube thumbnail or something, you could do that in one click and it'll just generate more of the photo on the side. Smart AI prompt enhancer. Now this is a lifesaver because you put in one sentence and you ask it to elaborate and it'll give you a whole paragraph or something that will make you like a prompt wizard. So it's like you're going into Chat GPT every time to generate a prompt, and it helps you look like a pro when you're making prompts. Comedian personal design feed. I'm not sure why that's kind of a feature that's normal. I don't like that it's called design feed. It should just be galleries. And the rest are just kind of the obvious stuff. Now let's get into what the $49 version doesn't have. And so the first one is consistent characters. And that's the ability to give it an image or your face or whatever you want and make it that person in the image or cartoon every time. I don't like how they don't use photorealistic examples, but it does have the ability to use photorealism. Mainly the examples are in cartoons because that's typically what you see in ads, as well as coloring books, storybooks, and kind of what this tool was made for. Custom face insertion, which I didn't see that. I think they mean switcher, which I wish they wouldn't do that in the ad and the tool having different names, which they do a lot. But I believe that's what it is, and you're just going to have to kind of cross your fingers that I'm right. But you can put your face into any character. So you can create a character doing something like a superhero or whatever, and then put your face on it. And then you're a superhero. And then you can hang it in the wall in your living room and impress your friends or whatever you want to do with that. Next is perfect text and AI images. I didn't know that was just a premium feature, but you have the ability to put text and images. And it's about 90 to 95% accurate in my experience. Next is AI human inpainting, which if you know what inpaint anything is, it basically does that. You can color something in and then just tell it to be different. So this black suit turned into a red shirt, and it's as easy as that. Color it in, and then you tell the AI what you want. So you just put shades on them. Faster image generation. Now I get generations up to 10 to 20 seconds, and I do like 4 images per prompt. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer for like an entire coloring book, but that's like 20 images. It still takes under a minute, which is lightning quick. And it sometimes goes faster, but you really just have to refresh the page, because sometimes when you're creating a design and you don't refresh the page, it just gets stuck. So just click refresh up here or press F5 just to refresh the page sometimes to make it quicker. Multiple images per prompt. So you can create 4 images every single time, which I do. I don't try to just create 1 image. I always create 4 because it's unlimited and it's a lifetime license, so there's no reason not to click 4. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, which is the enterprise commercial license. So I did a little research, but I'm still a little confused, but it grants the extended rights suitable for enterprise level projects and commercial endeavors, which means there's a limited liability protection when you use the standard version, the $49 one, and it might not be sufficient for mass distribution. But I don't understand the thresholds and what would be considered mass distribution and who determines that. All I know is the 147 plan is an enterprise license and it has extended rights for larger distribution. So if you're trying to do something more than your personal kind of KDP or uploading to Amazon to sell 100 books, you definitely need the 147 version to protect you from some of those limitations that you have with the personal license. Now let's look at the real dashboard, which is the Fast AI Image Designer. This is where all your tools are held, basically. This is what you paid for. Now you got the main categories up here. You got the AI image designer, the AI design agents, AI design assistants, which that's kind of the same thing, but whatever. They do have different tools, just the names are too similar. Consistent characters, which is only for the premium model. AI art illustrator, which is amazing. You can just choose a style that you want to create your image in and it'll guide you through the rest. These are very similar to Lora's or the models that are used on Leonardo to create an art of a specific style. So it's nice that they have this, and I hope they add a lot more. So for example, if I choose Minecraft style and then I put something in, a girl riding a dragon above a landscape, and then I click on this feather here, this actually enhances my prompt. So as you can see, it's turned me into an AI prompt wizard here. And then you see here, if you want to change something, it says flowing silver hair. And so I don't want silver hair. So I'm going to click on edit AI prompt and then just put the girl is 30 years old, and then click on edit prompt, and then I'll use AI to fix the AI prompt that I generated earlier. Now I'm going to create 4 because why not? It's unlimited, and then I'm going to change it to 16:9 for my dimensions and generate the image. And in about 10 to 20 seconds, I have a cool picture of a girl that's riding a dragon, Minecraft style. And as you can see, I have 4 pictures that were generated in about 10 seconds, 20 seconds, and they're amazing images with Minecraft style. But it leads me to my next gripe. You can't full screen these images, at least not that I know of. You actually have to edit it if you want to full screen it, which is kind of annoying. Now AI bulk actions is under maintenance right now. People are probably spamming the hell out of it. Now let's look at flipbooks, which I think flipbooks are really cool. It's basically a kid's storybook. So you go in here, you create a kid's storybook, and it generates the entire thing aside from the book cover, which you can also generate a book cover here. Then it ends up here in my flipbooks, and then you can click on it and read it, and you can even download it. It's in PDF format. And this is amazing for kids. You just click play and it does the whole entire story that it created.
Lulu loved her tutu more than anything in the world. Whenever she wore it, she would close her eyes and imagine herself dancing. He closed her eyes so tight, she could see stars. When she opened them again, she wasn't in her bedroom. Lulu found herself at the entrance to a
So it's not the best voice in the world, but it's pretty awesome. I mean, you look at this, it's a full story, and it has the story. It has the nice text pages, which it's pretty limited right now to like 5 or 6 types of these types of borders and fancy pages. But the entire story is here with pictures and illustrations. So you see the girl walking. It says she's getting deeper into the magical woods, and you see the unicorns approaching her, and it says it here, and then you could play it
Suddenly,
to hear.
They came upon a clearing.
the girl. And this was in one click, which is insane that it can do this whole thing in a single click. And another cool thing is you can actually use your child's face or a particular model to actually be part of the story and change Lulu's face with your daughters or your sons. But man, that was easy and it's pretty professionally made. So let's go back here, starting with Image Designer. And let's create a basic picture here. So I got a simple prompt. I'm going to click prompt enhance and enhance it. And then I'm going to choose 16:9 here for the aspect ratio and make 4 images and click generate. So it's been 10 seconds now. So I'm going to click on the refresh button. And normally that's enough time to generate 4 images. And yep, it's done. And these are the images here. Decent, but not what I had in mind. So I'm going to click on regenerate, click this and edit the prompt. And she's going to be in an enchanted forest this time and wearing white dress with blonde hair. Edit prompt. Again, if you're just generating 4 images after it's been like 10 seconds, you could just click refresh and it should be there already. If not, you're going to wait 30 or 40 seconds for it. And this is more like what I had in mind, but let's go a step further. So let's just change the background with the instant scene. And I'm going to do a manual replace. I'm going to put something in the prompt here, and then I'm going to click replace background. And you can see it kept the girl and it change the background. So that's how to prompt a normal image. But if you go into V4 Image Designer, you'll get a lot more options here. So you would have the normal prompt box, but if you customize settings, you'll see that there's a lot of toggles to choose the mood, the color palette, the environment, and everything else to just kind of narrow down what you want your picture to look like. Then you have the Artistic Designer, which is a new tool I'm not too familiar with, but it's supposed to be able to hone in on a specific art style, but I don't see how that's different from the normal prompt. Now logo, it does a very good job at logos. Now let's create a logo, and I'm going to work off the existing prompt and just edit it a little bit. And so I gave some instructions on how to edit the prompt and keep that minimalistic design, and let's see what it comes up with. All right, so that's the new edited prompt, and I click generate, and it gave me a pretty simple logo based on the instructions that I gave it. And just like that, a logo was created, which you would probably spend a lot of money and working back and forth with someone in Fiverr to try and hone down exactly what you wanted to have. And if you were collaborating with someone and you didn't get the design correctly, you would have to go back to them and then pay them for an additional fee to actually change it most of the time. But this, you can just keep going back and forth until you get what you want. You could even give it examples like here with Mirror Magic, and you could actually just drop in a logo that you like or a picture that you like to create that logo. So I'm going to choose this girl right here, describe it, then use the prompt in here and then edit it to say it should be a logo, and then generate. And now I have a logo of whatever that was. And if this is too complex for you, you can actually just click on edit and then change it. Next is photorealism and animal, which is kind of self-explanatory. This one will get you photorealistic shots, and animal will focus on animal shots, or anthropomorphism, which is the semi-realistic kind of pony style type of images. And then t-shirt designs, which creates your designs in a t-shirt format just like this. Then social media posts, which is basically the Canva style of editing, but this one's specifically a generator to create the entire ad or promo or whatever you want to call it all at once. So from this text here, you should get a product just like this one. And then you can go in the advanced AI editor and do things like edit the text or change the art style. And then you have the seamless patterns, which is pretty amazing. You can create your own custom nursing uniform, or, you know, something like pajamas or wallpaper designs, gift wrapping designs. I mean, this thing works flawlessly. Then you have virtual influencers, which is kind of bugging out right now, but you choose a model and then you can have them do something like a review at a restaurant or whatever. I mean, it's not a video, it's just a picture of them, and it's a fake influencer. From this tool, there's 4 other things that can do this as well, including the consistent characters, the product influencers, and in those you can actually have a custom influencer. This one I'm not sure if you can actually make a custom influencer. Poster maker, this makes some amazing posters. Look at this one, Together for a Greener Tomorrow. And this is what I'm talking about, the art style here versus Midjourney. People are trying to make posters like this, and this is not something that pops out as this is the most amazing art, but it's exactly what you need when you're doing posters. You can make your own stickers, and very important to make money is cards and invites. This is a huge money maker as people spend a lot of money on wedding invitations and party invitations, things like that. And if you can do it in 10 minutes, that's pretty amazing. I mean, don't tell your client you did it in 10 minutes or come back to them in 10 minutes and say, here's your result. But the only thing they should really care about is how it looks. And these look very nice. Now let's look at AI design agents. Now clip art's more of like a 2D specific art style. Coloring page is just a single coloring page, which I don't know why you would do that when you could create an entire book, but I guess you can be more focused. So this t-shirt designs an AI design agent, actually has the agent do all the work for you. So you just want a funny shirt, then you give it a little description and it'll do the prompts for you. And I'm going to create a quantity of 6 and then generate designs. So now it's generated me a bunch of examples of this, and some of them are actual t-shirts. You can actually put these designs in the photo editor and just take the design itself rather than the t-shirt. So the first 3 are fails, nothing to do with nurses. The next one might work. Nurses by day, cat mom by night. Cat scan expert, that one is pretty good if I'm being honest. This would be perfect for someone who's a nurse and also a cat lover. Professional nurse, I like that one. Professional nurse, I get it. The others not so much, but this one definitely like it. All right, now that we have this t-shirt, let's actually use it in a mock-up, which would be cool to see. So let's go to AI design assistants. I know I'm skipping ahead a little bit, but let's click on choose from library, then choose the shirt, cat scan expert. So I put a nurse with a stethoscope wearing this shirt. Let's generate 4 images of this and see what it does. So I have a bunch of mock-ups of girls wearing the shirt that I created, and there's 5 of them right here. Now it does go a long way to actually spell out that the shirt said cat scan expert, and this is where I didn't spell it out, and I didn't spell out that it was a girl. And here I just got a mannequin. Here, this one was perfect, but it was like a weird mannequin with no face and had hair. So it does help to give it some direction that it's a girl and that the shirt says cat scan expert. Now let's go on a side quest for a little bit and click on edit on this picture in particular. Now she has some unwanted text over here on her sleeve, so let's take that out. So I just mask it right here. I click on remove, and as you can see, it's perfectly removed from her clothing. And I even went over and masked the wall a little bit, and it knew not to remove the wall or anything there. So I'm gonna click on that. And if you look at this, this is actually, I changed the background using the background instant scene tool, and I used the tagging here. So that's some of the other things you can do. And this one I combined an image, but there was a guy in the image, so it came out kind of funny. So it mixed the guy with her face as well as the style of the image. Pretty powerful tool, so careful how you use that power. Kept the jawline though. Now let's put something in the picture real quick in Inpaint. So I'm gonna raise the brush size. So I put a parrot on the lady's shoulder. Let me make it a little bit bigger and generate. And it perfectly put a parrot on her shoulder. So we'll keep that as well as the background. Now I want this picture bigger. So I'm gonna click on Smart Expand, then click on 16:9, which is the landscape. So it's going to go from 1:1 to landscape. And now you have a 16:9 photo, and it perfectly added a road on the side as well as more to the artwork that it started creating over here. Okay, so let's use one of the pre-made influencers here, and I'm going to change it to shades. I'm going to put on this girl right here. I'm just going to put shades and create the image. And we got to create a mask over the glasses that she currently has and click generate. And here is our finished product, but we can kind of see her eyes, which I don't like. So you can send that to the photo editor to make those changes. And for the chain, you could just use the object remover to get rid of that. As you can see, it perfectly removed the chains. And if you didn't like this, you can actually use your own models, like the model that we created earlier, by using the custom feature here. Unfortunately, I don't know how to transfer the image there, so I usually have to download the image or export it right here as a PNG. I'm going to make the tint stronger on her shades and generate the image. And as you can see, it did a perfect job at doing just that, and it made the tint stronger, and I don't see her eyes anymore, which would not be ideal for an ad about shades. Now let's take a look at script to storybook, kid storybook, and personalized storybooks. Now they all kind of do the same thing, but they have their own benefits. So the script to storybook is the quick mode, and so it basically converts an entire storybook based on a script that it creates, but it doesn't show you the script, and it'll choose a bunch of designs and it'll throw it into your personal designs. And behind these images is an actual script you can put into a kid's storybook when you generate a flip book. You would just have to click on script to storybook, and then choose create flipbook. And then when you select story, it's going to select just that one story. So you don't have to worry about it getting all the images in this repository. And then when you're done, you just click on create flipbook, and you'll be met with some options such as selecting a voice, selecting a template for the reading side. And then you can add a front cover, which pro tip, make the book cover before you get here. Then you can click generate flipbook. Then your flipbooks will end up here. And I got 2 already. I showed you this one, but let's take a look at this one real quick. Press play.
One sunny afternoon, a little boy named Leo was exploring deep in the forest. He stumbled upon something shiny hidden beneath It was a spaceship, a small, round space. He flew past planets and saw swirling cosmic dust. They showed him amazing things and played.
That's a pretty good flipbook, storybook. It's you can download it in PDF format. Now I did get an error one time. This one doesn't want to generate no matter how many times I restart it. And there's also one that didn't have the audio, but you just have to redo the story, which only takes a couple minutes, like a minute or so, and you do it from a single prompt. Now going back, looking at kids storybook. Now this one's a little bit more in depth. And so you can actually choose whether you want it to be fiction, nonfiction, fantasy, or whatever. You can do whatever age group it is and then write a story summary and then add how many characters you want to be in there, as well as the number of pages, with 25 being the max. So this one's a little bit more driven and gives you some drop downs to make it more specific. Now personalized, you can actually upload a picture and put the child's name here. So I'm going to put the child's name is, so you could enter a custom tone or you can choose one here. I'm just going to choose Epic Adventure and then generate the prompt, which you can see ahead of time. Now the difference with custom storybook is you can actually upload a picture for a consistent character to be in the comic itself or the book itself. So you can upload your own child or maybe a client's child if they want to make a storybook of their child. And it's a pretty nice touch to an amazing feature, and it works pretty well. So I'm going to choose from the library. I'm going to use this kid right here, which was generated, but you can see how you can use a photorealistic picture, one of your live pictures, to make it the subject. It's going to be one by one. I'm going to click generate. Now it's going to build a story, making that kid a cartoon character. And you can see here it's pretty consistent and there's an ongoing story. Now let's look at pet portraits. Pet portraits is pretty self-explanatory. You upload a picture of a pet, type what you want it to be. So I like the suggestions for pirate here, and I'm going to make 4 images and generate. As you can see, I made some pretty ridiculous pictures of this dog as a pirate. I think it's pretty funny, but here's one of it as a samurai with a more manga style type of drawing. It does a pretty good job, and I've seen some really good ones. Now next we see the book cover, which you want to do this before you actually try to generate the kid's storybook, because it's going to ask for this, but you just enter the info and it'll generate a book cover for you. Now seamless patterns, this one's strange. It's the same thing as here, seamless patterns, but I guess the idea is that in the future they're going to have more style pickers and a little bit more options here to generate a design that's a little bit more guided in terms of prompting here with the style pickers and different drop downs. Now this soulmate sketch is weird. I'm gonna just go ahead and try it out, and I put in some information, then click generate design. That's interesting. So this is my soulmate sketch. Not bad, but a little kind of weird tool there. Wall art sketch, let's try this. Again, it doesn't seem like they have a lot of options right now, so let's just try it real quick with this description. And it came out really nice, and this is the type of art that you would see in a hotel. Kind of impressionistic, impasto, oil painting, or watercolors, things like that. Now we're done with AI design agents, but I've only scratched the surface. There's so much usability in these tools. Let's go to AI design assistants. All right, so I put a little context for the girl wearing the shirt with this logo, and so let's generate the image on that. Now, one thing I want to see is a search feature going through your gallery. It's pretty crazy to try and find something. You basically just got to scroll through hundreds and thousands of pictures. But here you can see some of the examples of my YouTube thumbnails that were recreated, which it did a really nice job at. Here's some of those anthropomorphic characters with the animal generator. Here's a consistent character that was uploaded, and there's a bunch of examples. And this is more of a Pixar style of her, as the original photo was more realistic, like these right here. Here's more pet portraits. Here's a black and white that got colorized. End result was amazing. Now here's an example of a logo on the t-shirt, and it does it perfectly. Look at this. There it is, your logo, this one on a t-shirt, and it's almost like you hired a model to go somewhere with a photographer and take this picture and spend thousands of dollars, but really it took you like 30 seconds or something to make it. Now this is a little photo shoot with my old ear pods, and it was basically on a desk, and I took this picture and it removed the background and then it replaced it with one of these. This one's pretty cool. It actually added 2, which was amazing. And here's more pictures of a similar logo being put on shirts, and this one came out pretty nicely, exactly like the drawing itself or the logo itself. Now back to AI design assistants. Product photos is like asking a professional photographer to take a picture of your product, and it doesn't matter what's in the background. This thing will remove the background and put it wherever you want. And so I'm going to put these shades on a marble pedestal in the middle of the jungle in front of a waterfall. Photorealistic, generate. And just like that, look at that marketing ad for you right there. The glasses are in the middle of the rainforest in front of a waterfall on a marble pedestal, which is pretty amazing. Now character creator, I'm going to show you some examples of what I created here. And this is supposed to be a little 16-year-old boy knight who kind of DIY'd his own knight's costume. And it did a good job at that. I mean, the costume's a little bit too legit, but it does show him in his garage like he tinkered this himself. I like this one the best. But you can actually use this character with consistent characters, which we'll look at in a second. AI portrait, it just makes it look like your photo was professionally taken. So I'm going to upload this picture and I'm going to put her on a beach, I guess. Now, I did say it only works perfectly with human images, but we're going to test it out with this semi-human image. So this does look human, but not photorealistic. Let's see what it comes up with. And damn, that's pretty good. And so I asked it to put her in a Hawaiian dress, which is not a dress, but it's a little bathing suit. She's on a beach, right? Makes sense. And she has shades like I asked for. And it definitely looks like this girl over here in the photo. How's that for an IP adapter? That's almost just like it. Pretty powerful tool. And you can imagine what you can do with marketing to have a single picture of someone and put them in all different types of things. Now, AI upscaler, and this is a pretty moderate upscaler. It doesn't change too much about the character, but you do have the option to just upscale or improve a human photo, which helps a little bit. I'm going to choose that option, and you could convert to 300 DPI for printing larger prints. I'm going to click on upscale and we'll compare the models. Well, let's take a look at some of the results here. And so the upscale is pretty modest. It keeps the details of the original picture, which is this one down here. You can't really tell in here because they don't let you zoom in. But you look at the dimensions here are 1024 by 1024. And this one's 4096 by 4096. So it was a 4 times upscale. And if you look at this one, this is improve human face. And so it removed details on her freckles. It smoothed it out of her face. Her eyes a little crooked, which is unintended. But it's trying to make the face look more human, and you might have negative results if the face already looked really good. But if the face is like missing teeth or whatever, it's going to add it in and try to make it look the best it could be. I guess that answers the strength of the upscale, and it's 4 times. Now the photo editor, this is one of the most powerful tools here, and it's pretty much like Omnigen. You basically upload your picture and you just tell it what you want. You tell it how you want it fixed. And I'm going to tell it I want this colorized, I want to remove the tears, and I just want to improve the overall quality of this photo. And as you can see, it did a pretty good job here. Even though the purple is a little faded, I could always tell it to go back and change it again. I'm pretty glad with this result, and it removed the tears and it colorized at least her. And I asked it to improve it again, and this is the result I got, which is much better than the original image, which if you don't recall, this was the original image here. So from that to this is pretty amazing. It was even amazing when it was just this picture right here. And you can keep improving with the photo editor. Just do 1 detail or 2 at a time. Don't do too many or it might get confused, but it does an amazing job. You can add something, you can change the elements about a picture, you can change the style about a picture, you can do anything with photo editor. Next is human stylizer, and so this is to change the overall style of the photo, image, or painting, which this one's a photo, so I'm going to change it into a painting. And I'm going to click stylize, and I put impasto style painting, and same exact thing for the pet stylizer, which I'll take this one and I'll make it more pop art. And as you can see, this is the result of the style, and it changed it into an old school impasto painting. It even made the girl kind of stylistic to the art style back then of the types of girls that they would paint. So that's a pretty good conversion, and it's that easy to stylize something without changing the overall subject. So the pole's still there, the girl's still there, hair's still the same, her eyes are still green. It just changed the style of the photo, which is pretty amazing. Now I took that photorealistic picture of the pirate dog and turned it into pop art, and this is what it came up with, which is exactly what I imagined. Now let's look at realistic characters real quick. This could be achieved in different ways, and I don't know what the $49 version comes with, but it's not supposed to have any consistent characters. But I'm going to choose this girl again, and now she's going to be an astronaut, and let's see if it keeps her face consistent. And here she is as an astronaut, and I think it did a pretty good job. Her hair is shorter here, but I guess they didn't want it to kind of flow over the backpack. Last but not least, in the AI fast generation, you have illustrators. Now, I don't know if that's the right word to use, but it's basically like a Lora or some sort of art stylizer. So they have a lot of different styles here. I like impasto a lot, so let's try and use that for our art style and type something in. So I put a male hero, dark elf, high fantasy armor, inspiration from the game Lineage 2, and then I'll click on improve my prompt or enhance my prompt. And that's a crazy enhancement. It even made a reference to Kamal, which is the one-winged creatures in Lineage 2. All right, I'm gonna do a 16 by no. I'll do a 1 by 1 quantity for generate. And it did a really good job at the level of detail of the types of armors there are in Lineage 2. And it has those impasto strokes, those thick paint strokes, and the little patchiness and different coloring, mimicking kind of like a watercolor, but it's more of just thick paint. This is a strange combination of genres, but it looks pretty nice. Now let's make another one, but let's make it Pixar style. And this is the result. So it's a very clean kind of 3D art style, which you get with Pixar, but it's an interesting combination here to mix it in with the Lineage 2 kind of lore. So it has dark fantasy and Pixar. That's a strange mix, but look at this, it did it. All right, so we quickly went over most of the things here, but we definitely need to come back and do a full video because there's so much this tool is capable of and so much more examples that we can use. But the final example that we should take a look at is perhaps the biggest money maker here, which is these Canva style templates. And remember what I said, there's no search bar here, and it's a little strange. You have to go next to find a random template. So just start creating or work on an existing project. I'm going to choose this one. So I asked it to change the robot a little bit and make it look a little bit more human. Don't forget to click generate. And I got a few different examples here. So I was able to change this cyborg to look more like this, which is more appealing to me. I could add different text in here. I can redo the ad completely. I can make it like she's ingrained into some sort of motherboard here. You change the background. There's a lot of other things you can do with it. Make the ad your own. But they got a lot of templates here that you can work with. And you can use these tools up here to change the background, change the face on the person using face swap, or inpaint anything into the scene, add merch into it. You can erase things that you don't like or don't want there. You can even remove the subject. Like I can take this object remover, remove this lamp right here. And as you can see, it's like the lamp was never there, right? You can use the text editor to grab the text so you can erase it or change it to a different style of font, add shadows to it, change the actual text itself on what it says. So here you can see I can change it beat to stop the heat or something and change it to whatever topography style that I want, and even include shadows into the pictures to make it look like it's more part of the photo. You can even inpaint pictures into the photo or redo the photo itself so it looks like there's a metal sign or something that's part of the image. So there's so many different ways you can edit and make this photo your own. But Artlisty is an amazing tool that adds so much possibilities. I mean, look at all these different ads that you can create, and there's so much power in these tools to create it exactly the way you want it. You can add yourself in these ads, you can add the model that you want. You can create an influencer specifically to be your model. Oh, you can put a dog in a tutu and make that your model for your ads. And there's just so many things that you can do, and so many possibilities then, and it's very easy to use and play with. That's the important part, that you don't lose time trying to figure out how to use it. So that's why I think Artlisty is definitely worth the $147. And if you don't think so yourself and you bought it, just go ahead and return it after 30 days. No problem. Just don't procrastinate. But if you do choose to buy Artlisty, definitely use my affiliate link in the description. It helps me out a lot. And maybe I'll recoup some of the money that I used to buy this tool to show it to you guys and give you an honest review. So Artlisty does live up to its claims and does exactly what it says it can do, which is really what I wanted to find out. And it does that and more. So I was pleasantly surprised by this tool, and hopefully you are too. If you're actually making money with AI art, this is definitely worth the money for you. If you're not making any money for AI art or don't have any plans, then of course, I mean, it's kind of hard to justify the amount. But if you are going to make money and you don't want to waste time, this is definitely the tool for you. And if you like the video, definitely give it a thumbs up. That's a free way of showing your support, which I would appreciate. If you want to see more tech reviews, more free AI art stuff, and AI in general, things like tools that come out of GitHub like FramePack, which was my last video, free AI art generators, how to install ComfyUI, how to use Loras and things like that, definitely subscribe and show you the tricks that I come up with. So I just want to say thanks for watching if you made it this far, and hopefully this video was very useful to you. Now I want to leave you with a short video of some of the pictures that I created while making this video, as well as some music I created in Suno AI, which if you don't know about Suno AI, it's amazing. I have a tutorial on that as well, and here's one of the songs that I created, combined with some of the pictures I created for this particular video. And if you watch the video all the way through, you'll probably see the Easter eggs or where I used each of these pictures, so enjoy.